Jimmy Butler just made his Warriors debut in a win against the Bulls, and man, it's clear as day that he's going to be a game changer for Golden State. Curry looked like himself for the first time in a while, and not even just from like a basketball sense, but he was going back to the no-lookers. It felt like he finally had a sidekick again. In this video, I want to break down how Jimmy Butler impacts this team and what he showed us in his first game as a Warrior as they got a huge comeback win over the Bulls. But before we begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, let's talk about Jimmy Buckets in a Warriors jersey. First things first, his playmaking is going to be massive for this team. Throughout Curry's career, the Warriors haven't wanted him to be that on-ball, pick-and-roll playmaker guy all the time. They prefer a movement offense with guys working off the ball. In the past, they'd have Draymond initiate a lot of the offense, or when KD was around, he'd isolate and create. But now with Draymond getting older and less effective offensively and just a lot less agile, and he doesn't move as fast, and guys like Dennis Schroeder are gone, they've been searching for that perfect backcourt partner for Steph, and now enter Jimmy Butler. He might not be seen as a traditional playmaker, but his size and strength brings a whole new dimension to this Warriors offense. What's really going to be huge for Golden State is Jimmy's ability to get to the free throw line. That's been a hallmark of his career, and it's something the Warriors have desperately needed. They've traditionally been one of the worst teams in the league at getting to the line, currently ranking 27th in free throw attempts. But Butler's physicality and knack for drawing fouls is going to be a game changer, especially in the postseason, if the Warriors end up making it, which it looks like they could now. I know there's still a long way to go. They have around a 500 record. They'll probably end up in the play-in and they'll have to win from there. But still, I like where things are headed for the rest of this season, with Jimmy Butler now in the starting lineup next to Curry, with Buddy healed, and then Kuminga whenever he comes back, and Draymond Green. Another aspect of Jimmy's game that's going to shine in Golden State is his post-up ability. With teams often doubling Steph or switching on screens, there's going to be a ton of mismatches for Butler to exploit. In the past, the Warriors didn't really have a guy who could consistently punish those mismatches. Now, if a smaller defender gets switched on to Jimmy, he's going to take them to the post and make them pay. I mean, we've already seen him start to do this in just one game of sample size. But it's not just about Jimmy's individual skills. What's really exciting is how he fits into the Warriors system. In his debut, we saw him setting screens, slipping to the rim, and even doing some of that Draymond style playmaking from the post. It's clear that Jimmy's locked in and is ready to do what it takes to help this team win. And that was a major question because we all know his past, we all know the fits that he's thrown, especially over the last few weeks on the Heat, and we've seen him show up to media day dressed as a goth guy. The dude is literally just a walking meme, and sometimes you have to question if he really takes his game serious or not, but it seems like so far for the Warriors he has, but again, I know it's only been one game. And then defensively, while Jimmy might not be the elite stopper he once was, he still brings energy, aggression, and physicality to that end of the floor. His defensive instincts and ability to get in passing lanes are going to be huge for a Warriors team that has been really struggling on that end because, I mean, Steph Curry, he does what he can, Buddy Hield's not really known as a defender, and besides that, you got Kuminga, he can play some defense, but he hasn't been available, and then Draymond is just too old to even keep up. He still has one of the smartest IQs in the league on the defensive end. I mean, he definitely is a guy that's deserved to win a couple of Defensive Player of the Years throughout his career, but he's just too old, he's not the same, so Jimmy is exactly what this team needed to kind of turn the defense around. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't initially sold on the fit between Jimmy and the Warriors. I had concerns about his contract, his age, and whether he'd be motivated after this wasn't his first choice. But after seeing him play just one game, like I said, I'm starting to change my mind. If this is the Jimmy Butler we're going to see night in and night out, the Warriors could be a dangerous team. Obviously, Jimmy doesn't move the needle to make this team a true contender. They don't have enough front court depth, but they do have a big three with experience, and they were able to keep their youth. And the Warriors are still awaiting the return, as I've mentioned so many times, of Jonathan Kuminga, who said he was going to be back a long time ago. One thing that really stood out in Jimmy's debut was his willingness to fit in the offense and do whatever Steve Kerr told him to do. He was setting picks for Steph and others more than we've seen him do in recent years. This shows that he has bought into the Warriors system and is willing to do the little things to make the offense flow. But again, it's game number one. Everyone usually comes out in a new environment with a ton of energy, and this is Jimmy Butler. So I'm going to hold my horses and let's see how things look in 3 or 4 weeks. I do think Steve Kerr deserves a lot of credit for his ability to quickly adapt, throw Jimmy Butler in the lineup, and win a basketball game. I do feel like Kerr gets a ton of unnecessary hate sometimes. I know he has coached some great players, but the 2022 championship had a lot to do with him and his coaching style. He's a Hall of Fame coach, and I think he's going to do everything he can to make this roster work when everyone is healthy. I mean, we initially thought the Warriors were a top 5 team. They got 10 quick wins, but then they hit bumps in the road with a blowout loss to the Cavs, and from there, things went downhill, and now with Jimmy Butler, they are going to be looking to steer back in the winning direction. And as I was talking about, one thing I'm really excited to see is how Jimmy's presence affects Steph's game. We've already seen glimpses of Steph playing more off-ball, reminiscent of his role during the Kevin Durant era, and this could lead to Steph getting more open looks and potentially having more energy for fourth quarters and clutch moments. And the Warriors bench unit also stands to benefit from Jimmy's arrival. When Steph sits, they now have another creator who can keep the offense humming. So this really should lead to more balanced scoring throughout the game and fewer of those dreaded second quarter slumps we've seen from the Warriors this season. Obviously, Jimmy won't completely fix the problem, but I think he and Kuminga could. Now let's take a look at some game film. So first we have Jimmy Butler in the post. This is bad defense by Chicago because Jimmy Butler just has insane strength. He literally just pushes the guy off him and still gets the and one when he recovers. I don't know how much of a foul this was, but at the end of the day, that is 3 points for the Warriors. This is a play they never could have made before Jimmy arrived to town. And then here, this is kind of what I was talking about with the screen and cuts, screen and rolls, whatever you like to call it. And then Jimmy gets the ball inside and gets the tough finish. And then in transition on defense, Jimmy is a guy that's always going to wall up, and he just has great ball skills. He's going to get his hand on the ball without fouling, as we saw right here. He picked up the big block on a guy coming in that was much taller than him. So yeah, that's just kind of what I saw from Jimmy Butler in his first game. I'm very excited to see what the next few weeks look like for the Golden State Warriors. Let me know what you guys thought about this trade and how it's going to affect the team in the comments below. And if you made it to this point in the video and enjoyed, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And until next time, I will see you all later.
Jimmy.
Pretty fun having Jimmy on our team. Yeah, he's an amazing player. You know, the ability to get fouled, it just settles the game for us at key times. But I'm most impressed with his passing. You know, I just think his passing changes everything, connects the game. You know, and he does it from anywhere. He'll dive down to the post, catch it down there, or he'll pass off the dribble, or he'll just make the quick swing. So the skill, the strength, the ability to get to the free throw line, and then in the end goes beyond that. It's his just his presence out there. He's a lion out there. He is a force.